Well, hello there everyone and welcome to another episode of Bridget's Christmas Special, where I am cooking up some healthy, delicious treats that you just might want to consider serving on your Christmas table this year. Today's cooking class, very awesome. Like, I love this recipe so much. I'm so glad you're here and you're watching it as well, because it's one of those recipes, and it is, by the way, we will be doing a 10-minute burnt Basque cheesecake. Now, to give you a little bit of a history about the burnt Basque cheesecake. So I'm not sure if some of you are familiar when the cronut hit the market. So some clever person decided to blend a croissant with a donut, and hence they created the cronut. And when the cronut sort of first became popular, I believe it was a bakery in New York. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was a baker in New York who invented the cronut. When it first kind of hit the scene, everyone went bananas for it. Everybody wanted a cronut in their life. They wanted the croissant donut connection. Bakeries all over the world started copying this particular recipe, and it just went absolutely bananas. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still pretty popular now. Not as popular as it was, because you know, things come and go when it comes to food trends. And the cronut is still pretty popular in parts of the world. Me personally, here's the crazy part of this story. I've never ever tried a cronut. I haven't, because it's not really, I love a good croissant. I absolutely do. I don't mind donuts, but I've never gotten around to eating a cronut. So there you go. But what I do partake in, especially on special occasions, so the burnt Basque cheesecake normally comes out at Christmas time or birthdays for us. I do partake in a bit of cheesecake. I do like a good cheesecake. So the burnt Basque cheesecake is like the cronut of the 2023s and 2024s. It's been around for many years. In fact, the burnt Basque cheesecake was invented in the Basque region in Spain, which is the very northern part of Spain, where they are most famous for their dairy. And there was a little restaurant there that did this incredible cheesecake. And again, like things around the world, it got extremely popular. So what I'm going to share with you today is a 10-minute version. Traditionally, a burnt Basque doesn't take that long anyway. It only takes about half an hour to bake. But I'm going to share with you a 10-minute version, and we're going to be doing it in the air fryer today, which is just fabulous. And we're still going to get that very characteristic burnt topping, which is really important when it comes to creating a burnt Basque cheesecake. So we're going to get the flavor of that burnt topping sort of going down through the actual cheesecake filling of the cheesecake. It's going to be incredibly fast to make and incredibly delicious to eat. So here we go into the recipe. Now, I have in my bowl here 300 grams, which is 10.5 ounces of a lactose-free cream cheese. Now, because it's got lactose or had the lactose removed from it, does not mean it's dairy-free. So this is not a dairy-free recipe. This is a lactose-free recipe, just to clear that up. The removal of lactose does not mean the removal of dairy. This still has dairy, so for me, this is why it's still a special occasion type of a treat, because I want to reduce the amount of dairy that I have into my diet. Because if you're regularly consuming dairy, so things made from the milk of another animal, if you're regularly consuming dairy, you are regularly consuming quite high levels of inflammation. So that's why this is a treat. Yeah, this is a treat. And the recipe we're doing today makes 4 individual cheesecakes. Yeah, 4 individuals. So 300 grams of cream cheese. And the real secret to this burnt Basque is to make sure that your cream cheese is at room temperature. So either leave it out on the bench just to soften up, or pop it in the microwave for about 20 to 30 seconds, not too much, you don't want to burn it. Pop it in the microwave and that'll get it nice and soft. So the cream cheese goes in there first. I am using a whisk here, electric whisk. You could use a handheld one, but I'm gonna be using this today just to make my life a little bit easier. So give it just a bit of a blend. We're just breaking up the cream cheese at this point. And once it feels quite smooth, you can sort of see why it's really important that we have this at room temperature, right? Because you want to create a lovely, smooth texture. Yep, happy with that. It is smooth without being runny. So that is stage one. Give that a bit of a blend. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in some egg yolks. So I'm going to be using 3 egg yolks today, and I'm actually keeping the egg whites because I'm going to use the egg whites in another Christmas recipe of mine, which is going to be a mini pavlova board. So a pavlova platter we will be cooking up as well as part of our cooking classes. If you want to know how to make a sugar-free mini pavlovas, come and join me for that cooking class. So I am going to be really careful when I'm separating the egg whites and the yolks. We nearly had a mini fail because I don't want to get any of the yolk into the egg white because then my pavlovas won't work. So it's okay having white in the yolk that goes into the cheesecake, but you definitely want to avoid getting any yolk into the egg whites, otherwise they just won't whip up. So you want to carefully transfer the egg between the shells, and as that's doing that, the white will just run off naturally. Another little trick that some people use, and I have been known to use this, but you've got to have clean hands, is when you crack your egg, you actually let the egg sit on the palm of on your fingertips and let the whites naturally kind of fall off through your fingertips. But I'm going to do it this way today. So 3 egg yolks go into our bowl, and then just with these egg whites, I'm going to just pop them off to the side. They are going to sit in the fridge until I make pavlova. Ha-ha! Nothing goes to waste. All right, back to our little whisk. Blend it all up. Nice and smooth. Looking good already. So at this point in time, it's also a really good idea to begin to preheat your air fryer. So you want to set your air fryer on 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and get that preheated. It's really important that this does not go into a cold air fryer or even a cold oven for that matter. I mean, you could essentially cook these in an oven, set at 200. They will take a bit longer than 10 minutes. In that case, you might as well do my traditional Burnt Basque cheesecake, which is just a big one rather than little individual ones. So yes, you can cook this in the oven, but it's going to take longer. You want to sit it on 200 degrees Celsius, and it will take longer, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. You might as well make a big one, right? Yeah, might as well make my big recipe. So once we've got our egg yolks and our cream cheese nice and smooth, I'm then going to add the sour cream. And again, I'm using a lactose-free sour cream, and that's 150 grams, which is 5.2 ounces of sour cream. Goes into our wee bowl here, and then I'll get rid of that. We're going back to the old whisk. Like I said, you can do this by hand, but why bother? When you get one of these. And this is my new toy. I just bought this. I love it. It feels robust. I honestly go through, when it comes to these types of bits of equipment, I go through one of these probably every year, sometimes less than a year. So I feel really good about this one. This is a NutriBullet, if you're wondering. And it feels nice. It feels robust. But yeah, I have been known to break these. Oh, do I still need it? Yes, I do. I have been known to break a few, about one a year. We'll see how long this one lasts. Okay, so now that we're at this point, we need to add the sweet component to our Burnt Basque cheesecake. And the sweet component, without getting cream cheese in my hair, the sweet component I have in here. So I take you guys know this one, all right? That's our zero as sugar. So that is our sugar-free sugar, our sugar alternative, which is made from plants. It's made from mushrooms and tomatoes. It literally is. And we get ours all the way from France, our zero as sugar. I put it into my spice grinder, my coffee grinder, and I just processed it until it is a powder, like icing sugar or powdered sugar. That's what I've made here using my little grinder. You want it to be quite fine because you want it to dissolve very quickly through the cream cheese so you don't get lumps, because remember, this does not spend very much time in the air fryer. So into my bowl here, I'm going to be adding my zero sugar, and I have 90 grams of our zero sugar, and of course this will not affect your blood glucose. This is great for type 2 diabetics. This is great for people who want to who have weight loss as a goal. This is great for people who don't want to spike and keep their blood glucose and keep their blood glucose stable throughout the day. It's also very, very good for your teeth. So this is great for kids. And it's 100% natural, comes from plants. 90 grams, 3 ounces goes in there. And if you would like to buy your own zero ash sugar, you can, because guess what? We sell it. Bridgets.shop. You can buy your own zero sugar, and it tastes like sugar. It tastes like sugar. It's amazing, right? So let's just get that in. I'm kind of just pulsing so I don't get like a snow effect. I go too fast. But what I'd really like to do as well, and for me this is really important, is as well as sweetening it with the zero sugar, I'm also going to add a little bit of inulin powder, which is what I have here. This is our pure as inulin powder. And for many of you who already use an inulin powder, you know that inulin powder is a prebiotic dietary fiber. So this is going to go into your body, into your belly when you eat this cheesecake, and it's going to help to feed and nourish your healthy gut bacteria. So healthy gut bacteria, of course I'm talking about your probiotics. This stuff here that tastes like candy floss, and yeah, we sell this as well, pure as inulin. That's a Bridget's Healthy Kitchen one as well. We sell this. This particular inulin powder is food for your probiotics. So it is an all-round pretty awesome thing. Tastes like, smells like candy floss. And it's now, when we do this, and I'm going to be adding in 2 teaspoons of our fiber syrup, of our fiber powder, our inulin powder, is going to create a prebiotic. So now you've got a cheesecake that's going to feed your healthy gut bacteria, and inulin powder tastes like, it tastes like candy floss. All right, blend that all in. Very, very good. The only last ingredient I'm going to be adding into this is just well, there's 2 more, just a little pinch of salt goes in there as well. And then, where is it? What have I done? Oh, here it is. In this little, you can't see, it looks like an empty bowl, right? But actually there is half a teaspoon of our grass-fed gelatin. That's our super good gelatin, because I'm wanting the gelatin to add a bit of protein, but also just to help to hold our cheesecake together, because it's baked for such a short time. And on top of that, just to bloom that gelatin, I just added in a tablespoon of warm water. Let that sit while I've been chatting with you guys. Now I'm going to go over to my jug. Going to grab up my jug, recently boiled water, and I'm going to put 1 more tablespoon of recently boiled water on there, and then just begin to stir. And what I've got here is like this little gelatin slurry. So like I said, this is going to help just to ensure that we get a really nice, smooth textured cheesecake when it's finished. Not too firm, but also not too watery, not too liquidy. That just right amount of wobble. So you drizzle that in, back to our mixer, and that is it done. It's as simple as that. Now, because these are individuals, I am using some little oven-proof molds. You could also use the ramekins, which are, you know, your normal run-of-the-mill white ramekins. And you, depending on what you're using, will determine whether you're going to need to line them. Because I'm using these little metal dariole molds, they're called. I'm actually going to be lining them, and I'm going to be making 4, remember? I'm going to be lining them with those little muffin cases. It's the easiest way to line individuals, isn't it? I know, that's pretty clever. That's some pretty smart stuff. So now that those are in there, all that's left for me to do is just to spoon the mixture into my molds. Now, depending on the size of your mold, will determine how many cheesecakes you get. Bank on 4. you actually might get 6 to 8 if you've got smaller molds. So this makes a lot. And you want to fill it up right to the top of your molds. Don't be afraid. Look how small. Can I just look at that? Oh, close up. Ready? Wow. That's good, eh? Yeah. Kind of want to eat it just like this, but no, we're going to behave ourselves and we're going to cook it. And we're going to cook it, and it's not going to take long, 10 minutes in fact, if you're wondering. It's all it takes. And you just have the most sensational. But this is the importance, right, of having that cream cheese at room temperature. It needs to be soft, because if it's like lumpy, you're going to have a lumpy finished product. Like, these are pretty easy to make, but you will not get such an amazing texture. I'm going to save some because there's 4, right? You won't get such an amazing texture if your cream cheese is too hard. And it's even the same with the sour cream. I actually take the sour cream and the cream cheese out of the fridge about an hour before I want to make this recipe. And I can get away with that because it's really warm here in Australia at Christmas time. But if you're in a cooler part of the world, you might want to use the old microwave, Chef Mike, to give you a bit of a hand to get that cream cheese soft so you get this amazing texture. So at this point now, you take your 4 molds, your 6 molds, it could even be 8 molds, and you pop them into your air fryer. 10 minutes, remember 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. Are you ready for the ones that I prepared earlier? Are you ready? Okay. Only because you asked for it. So this is my Kmart air fryer, which I absolutely love as well. God, gotta love all this sort of stuff, right? This is my extremely budget-friendly air fryer. I gotta say, unlike these more expensive bits of equipment that I purchased that last me a year, if that, my air fryer has lasted me well over 3 years, and it cost me, I think it was $65 from Kmart. I love it. I love it. I wish I could put it in my suitcase and take it with me everywhere I went, but it's a bit on the big side. Okay, let's have a look. They're still a little bit warm. They've only just finished cooking. So I am going to take it out like that so you can see what we have. Can you see that little burntness there? That is what you want. And you actually, when you take it out, it should still have a bit of a wobble. It should be, hold that thought. That's something else cooking. I've been in the kitchen all morning cooking stuff up, cooking up a storm, a wonderful, healthy, delicious storm. So yes, you want it to still have a bit of a wobble. Do not think that it needs it, like it'll firm up as it cools. And ideally, and this is the hard part of this recipe, everything else is easy, this is the hard part. Ideally, you wait till it cools down before you eat it. That's the ideal scenario. If you want it to cool down faster, you would actually remove it from the Dario mold, especially if you're using a metal one, because the metal will hold the heat longer. But I've got a couple in here that I made, and you can see there's another. Look at that burnt top. That is the color you want. Can you see? Where's the camera? There it is. Can you see? Oh yeah, there you go. That is the color you want. That is what helps that flavor to go through this little cheesecake. I will pull it out so you guys can kind of see. I'll even show you how I would serve it. Even though it's warm, I'll show you what I like to do to serve it up. So, take it out. You see that? Look at it, look at it, look. On its own, it's gorgeous, right? But the way that I like to serve it is I would kind of peel back the paper, especially when it's cold, you're actually able to peel it back really, really simply. And then I would do, you know, something like grab me up some berries, fresh berries, or some macerated berries, which always live in my fridge. Even when it's berry season, I still always have some of these. These are my macerated berries that I make using frozen berries, which I love. I put that on top. Oh, some of that gorgeous juice. That's why I like the macerated berries, because then you get that wonderful juice as well, which you can dribble. I would also, just because it's very seasoned, I would grab some fresh blueberries. They're going to go on top as well. Pop those on top. And then how I would finish it off is with a little bit of snow. And then by snow, of course, I'm talking about a little bit of inulin powder. Wait there. I'm going to grab the little inulin powder shakery thing that I like to use. So I know this is a tea strainer, but it actually makes the best way to distribute snow on top of your baked goods. Can you see? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Prebiotic. Oh, I wish you could see inside that. Can you see inside that? Yeah. Oh, that is the 10-minute. Goodness me, that looks good. Even though it's warm, I reckon you get away with it. I reckon you could. Because, I gotta say, that looks amazing. I gotta take a photo of that and share it with you guys online as well. But there you go, that is the 10-minute Burnt Basque cheesecake delight. Your Christmas guests, or even yourself, you will not regret the small amount of time that it takes you to make that. So enjoy if you do make it. Let me know what you think. Leave me some comments in our Facebook group, BHK Family. If you're not already a part of our BHK family, come and join us. What are you waiting for? Leave me comments if you're watching this on YouTube as well, and tell me what you think of our healthy, lactose-free, 10-minute Burnt Basque cheesecake. Until next episode, looking forward to seeing you guys back here in the kitchen for Bridget's Christmas special cooking. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.